It's Friday, which means loads of new movies come out in the cinema. This is where I invite our movie critic Van Connor onto the show to talk about a couple of the movies that he's managed to catch over the last few weeks that get released today. Best thing is, not all of them you have to leave the house for, because one of the movies we're going to talk about today you can watch from the comfort of your very own home. Please welcome back movie critic Van Connor. How you doing, Van? You all right?
I am not bad. No, both of these are in cinemas. It has to be stressed this week.
I thought Dogman was on streaming. Is that not right?
No. Dogman is in cinemas. This is a big budget thing. But we'll start with Dogman.
Yes,
they're both good movies. Unexpectedly, Dogman is. I'm going to call it a good movie. So I knew nothing of Dogman. These are a series of animated children's books by, I think it's Dave Pilkey, I think is his name, and they're evidently quite popular with young American kids of a certain age, like 5 and 6 kind of age. They've now been adapted for the big screen by DreamWorks Animation in that wonderful new painted style they've been using for the last couple of movies now that looks actually quite interesting. It is the story of a police officer and his dog who are chasing Petey, the evil cat, and their arch nemesis across the city when they are caught in a bomb explosion that sees them spliced together RoboCop style to become Dogman. And they set out to, avenge themselves and obviously recapture Petey, who every time they lock up, then escapes from cat jail more or less instantly, as if he's Sideshow Bob. And he's voiced by Pete Davidson. Into this mix as well comes Petey attempting to clone himself, only to wind up with a child clone of himself, who he really doesn't want to have to parent, and who seeks a parent figure in Dogman instead. So it has layers. And it has some absolutely brilliant action movie nods for the dads as well. So have a listen. This is Dogman.
Petey escaped again.
Again?
Yeah, that's why I said again, yet again. I have had it. Dogman has got to go.
What? Listen, Mayor, don't you think the problem might be at cat jail?
Excuse me? Are you saying my brother is bad at running cat jail?
Your brother?
I want Dogman off the Petey case, and I want Petey captured. Gabish? That's English for ASAP.
Wait, Mayor. Dogman is the champ of catching Petey. That's not fair.
Oh, that's not fair? That's not fair. Here, call this number.
Life's not fair.
What?
Life's not fair.
I actually really, really like the look of this van, and it's not a movie that's just for kids. There's enough in there to keep the adults entertained, because aren't there some sort of throwback little moments that are about kind of other movies?
There are references to Die Hard, Aliens, RoboCop quite heavily. There's a sequence from RoboCop that's lifted directly into this, and I was just thinking, what maniac made this children's movie? I adore that person. It's absolutely nuts. I had a great time with it. I did laugh quite a bit. I would say as well, because I think it'd be because your son would be the perfect age.
Yeah, he's 6.
Yeah, take and see this. Yeah, about 6 years old. Perfect age, and it's one that he will sit and be transfixed by, and you will just sit there chuckling all the way through.
Great.
At all of these weird little nods, like Whoopie Kaye Floopy Flipper being one of them, and things like that you just this obviously not going to have any relevance whatsoever. But I saw this in a room full of grown men and women, and we all laughed grown adults. We all laughed through this. It was a good time, I have to say. Revels were had.
Well, there you go. There's something to do this weekend if you don't want to be out in the cold, wind, rain, potential snow. You can see Dogman this weekend at Curzon and View Cinemas in Oxford, Cineworld in Witney and Didcot, View in Bicester, and of course the Light in Banbury and Regal Picture House in Henley. So not short of options if you do want to watch it. Just search for Dogman. Okay, on to our next movie. We are looking at September 5th. Now, if I'm right, this was about the 1972 Summer Olympics in Munich in Germany, right?
Yes, it was. So, of course, obviously most known on the screen for the events of the movie Munich by Spielberg, which was about 20 years ago this year, funnily enough.
Wow.
And was a really good, gripping thriller. I need to revisit that now, particularly after seeing this, which is the events of the terrorist attack itself, the terrorist attack that kicked off the plots of the movie Munich. This is the entirety of this movie, which takes place in near real time. It has a similar energy and cadence to, for instance, Saturday Night, recently, where it follows a live TV production crew, in this case the ABC sports journalists, who find themselves the closest media outlet to the terrorist attack, the hostage situation that's going on by, I think it's Black September, in the Olympic Village in 1972. And so they become the de facto field journalists, and they wind up in the process giving birth to what we now know of as rolling news, of the way that we cover news to this day, was done on the fly on the night on September the 5th in 1972. So here are, in this clip, here are three of the producers of ABC Sports debating the morality of what it is they're actually showing.
You don't want anybody to see their kid executed on live television. No. So I don't know about the Israelis, but David Berger's folks are in Ohio, so I'm pretty sure they'll watch.
Well, someone should tell them not to watch it, but we have a bigger responsibility here.
What about the sponsors?
The sponsors are not going to be concerned. All they
Guys,
care
we have
about
2
are
minutes.
viewers. Okay.
So is that what we're trying to achieve here? Is ratings?
No, we're following the story wherever it takes us.
All right, then let me ask you this. Black September, they know the whole world is watching, right? That's why they chose the Olympics. If they shoot someone on live television, right, whose story is that? Is it ours or is it theirs?
I mean, this sounds quite gripping, Van. This sounds like a movie that you're going to sit down and you're going to get to the end and wish that there was more.
Very much so, and it's a really pacey, on-the-ground thriller, but a very factual, very cold, very to the point kind of thriller. This isn't really about arcs or redemption or anything, or anyone's redemption arcs or anything like that. It is very an in the thick of it kind of experience rather than like a cinematic narrative in its own right. It doesn't really focus on the beginning or the end. The action starts pretty immediately, and the movie ends more or less when the action does. And it's anchored together by some really great performances, people like Ben Chaplin and Peter Sarsgaard as well, and I forget the name of the actor from Mad Men who was in Past Lives this past year, and just say really tense stuff, really gripping. I kept thinking about the movie Munich and how much I wanted to revisit that all the way through. So I will say that if you do see this excellent film, which you absolutely should, because I believe it has some Academy Award nominations. If you do want to see September 5, be warned that you will want to watch Munich after as well. So maybe pick that DVD up from Tesco on the way home. Just a recommendation.
Amazing. Well, you can see September 5th this weekend. Curzon and View in Oxford, Cineworld, Whitney and Didcot, View in Bicester, the Living Room in Chippy, the Light in Banbury, and the Regal Picture House in Henley. So again, lots of opportunities for you to catch it if you would like to. What have we got to look forward to? And this is a rhetorical question, really, for next week, because I already know something that you are really looking forward to.
Well, I'm really looking forward to Captain America: Brave New World, if I can get in to see it, because that seems to be the world's most closely guarded secret, that screening. Also, though, I have seen Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy that we will be talking about next week. So you better queue up those power ballads for when I'm on next week. Get the Bridget Jones vibe going. It's going to be Valentine's as well, so you want to keep the vibe.
It will. We'll definitely need some romantic music for that one, Van. And of course, this Bridget Jones is the one that they've claimed is going to be the final and the last one, but when she was interviewed, Renee Zellweger, she kind of alluded that there might be another one afterwards.
There's not, to be fair, we were talking about this on the way in to see this movie. There really is not a reason to ever stop doing Bridget Jones.
No.
Because they seem to capture very differing points in her life that they stand apart and the story still stays pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Like the new one is all about grief, for instance, and moving on. And seeing Bridget Jones, like, okay, that's an interesting, phase that, and again, seeing her depicted at the age that she is. We'll talk about all this next week.
The next one, she could be a grandma.
These stages. She could be. You could very easily be.
Yeah. You'd follow her life. Why not? They're all good as far as I'm concerned. But brilliant. Thank you, Van. We will be back with you on Friday next week to go through some more movies. Have a lovely weekend. All right.
Till the next time, good sir.